All right, let's talk about how Wisconsinites are taking all this. John, you know Wisconsinites better than anyone, really. How do they feel about Elon Musk spending this much money? How do they feel about this race now being the most expensive race in history? It's not just Elon Musk. Democrats are also spending a lot of money, although the money is a bit more diverse than just one man. How's it going over?
People are disgusted. There's no question of that. They have seen more negative ads than in anything but the kind of the worst moments of the presidential race. The television airwaves are literally filled with ads saying that both candidates are essentially evil, and the mailings are flying at a level that you can't believe. What's happened is that people have gone into their camps. I think that for Democrats and progressives, and remember, this is a nonpartisan race officially, but for Democrats and progressives, they're very excited about Susan Crawford, who is a judge, a longtime prosecutor, somebody who they see as a person of the law, who, if this person got elected, would keep a progressive majority on the court. For the Republicans, of course, they like their candidate, Brad Schimmel, a longtime Republican politician who is very, very enthusiastic about Donald Trump. The thing that's really shaken the race up and made it different than some of the previous Supreme Court races in Wisconsin, which have had their partisan edge, is that Elon Musk has inserted himself into the race. Not recently. He started doing this in January. And the fascinating thing about it is he doesn't know Wisconsin at all. He literally, at one point in this nonpartisan race where the words Republican and Democrat aren't on the ballot, said vote for the Republican. Yesterday, he referred to Brad Schimmel, who is not a Supreme Court justice, as Justice Schimmel. And so you have to ask yourself, what's going on here? And I think a lot of Wisconsinites are. The answer is that Elon Musk wants a right-wing court in Wisconsin. He thinks that will be beneficial to Donald Trump at the national level. And frankly, Elon Musk has a lawsuit in Wisconsin trying to overturn some Wisconsin laws as regards the selling of vehicles like Teslas. And there are certainly progressives, people like Susan Crawford, who have speculated that he wouldn't mind having a court that was friendly to his business.
Cornell, the Democrats are trying to go after Elon Musk in this race, and even Schimmel didn't appear with Elon Musk at this event in Green Bay over the weekend. Is that the successful tactic here, to make this about Elon Musk, not necessarily about Donald Trump?
Look, I think the conservatives are going to look at what Elon Musk is doing here and think, you know, this was a race that we like our chances better if one of a deeply unpopular billionaire does not Bigfoot his way into this race and become the center of this race, right? He is literally overshadowing all the other issues, and even the candidate, as the last panelist was talking about here. And let's look, you know, Elon Musk is someone who, in our own NBC polling, is shown to be unpopular, and particularly unpopular with the middle of the road voters. And to a certain extent, he symbolizes the story that many Democrats want to drive. The narrative they want to drive is that this is a government, and the Republicans are people who are owned and operate by and for the very wealthy and special interests of this country. You know, he completely encapsulates that. So, Katie, what possibly could go wrong when the narrative that Democrats want to drive, the person who better encapsulates that has, you know, made his way into the race and is actually overshadowing the more conservative candidate, because to that point, it's not a Dem versus Republican race, at least not on the ballot.
You know, it's not just Elon Musk, and we can talk about larger issues here, but we've now had more than 2 months of Donald Trump, and I listed them at the top of the show, all of the ways that he's trying to remake government, all of the moves he's made. They've been fast and furious, to use a cliche. One of the big things, Christine, is tariffs. Tariffs are really eating into people's optimism for the future, I think we can say, before they're eating into paychecks. The tariffs with Canada, the tariffs with Europe, China, Mexico, the retaliatory tariffs. How might that play in Wisconsin?
It might play in Wisconsin, the retaliation, because this is what a trade war is. You know, the United States puts on tariffs, and then you get all of these threats from other countries saying, OK, well, we're going to raise import taxes on what you send us. So think motorcycles, Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Anyone? Think dairy, think poultry, think grains. These are all things that are made there in the Midwest. So those producers will feel Donald Trump's trade war. And I think that all consumers will feel the trade war. We know the automakers are warning that prices will likely rise for cars. Let me game this out for you. If prices rise for cars, consumers are already exhausted, and suddenly they're not buying as many cars, they're buying used cars, then the factories don't have to run as many shifts. And then you've got auto workers who then are not getting the hours they want. So all of this can sort of play out, and I feel like a lot of people in Wisconsin and elsewhere will feel it in a matter of weeks.